that little piece of your paranormal book, I turned to my friend and was like, this is me. I am this very sarcastic person looking at unicorns, and you're a goat with a weird bone on your head. So,
yes, well,
brilliant.
thank you. Thank you so much. And I love hearing that because a lot of these books are books that I wish that I could have given myself as a teenager, particularly the Egyptian mythology one, The Chaos of Stars. Because that one is a lot about relationships between mothers and daughters. And that strange period when you're a teenager, when you realize that your parents love you, but they might not love you the way that you feel like you need them to love you, and that can feel like a really big betrayal. And that was a really hard time in my teen years when I realized that my parents weren't perfect and they weren't exactly what I needed them to be. So even though they were trying, it was hard and it was a struggle. And so I wrote that book kind of about that, using Egyptian mythology because Egyptian mythology is so family-based. It's just stories about families. And, you know, cutting off penises, like you do. So, Egyptian mythology, always the best. But yeah, thank you. And yeah, like I said, I loved writing about the Egyptian mythology because it's just not addressed as often. I know Rick Riordan did Egyptian mythology with one of his middle grade series, but as far as YA, I don't know, there's really not.
Not
much.
really.
No. We like Greek mythology, but it's because people are really familiar with Greek. Yes?
Where can we get your books? Yeah, seriously.
Anywhere. You can get them Barnes & Noble, you can get them Amazon. A few indie stores actually have signed copies that you can order. University Bookstore in Washington, Changing Hands in Phoenix.
Powell's?
They're outside?
Yeah.
Do they have all of them or just in the shadows?
They have a Latino fan about that one, and they have,
Bless you.
I think they have 3 more.
Okay,
Yeah, they
so
have chaos.
you can get them outside. And I will be around for a few minutes after to sign them if you want them signed. But yeah, Mrs. Nielsen has them. Oh good, I didn't see any, so I didn't know if they had any. I knew. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They're in a box,
They're in a box. So go say, hey, what's in that box? You can get them outside. That's the answer. But yeah, typically you can get them anywhere. Yes.
Do you think you'd venture into contemporary or maybe adult?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, pretty much everything that I have written until now has some thread of the supernatural, whether it's mythology or kind of the sci-fi aspects of mind games. I actually have a story coming out in an anthology next month called My True Love Gave to Me. It's 12 holiday romances, edited by Stephanie Perkins, who is amazing. And it's a really, really good collection. It's got Rainbow Rowell, it's got Gail Forman, David Levithan, Stephanie Perkins, Holly Black. And it's a really solid anthology. And my story in there is actually contemporary. It's got a slight magical realism to it. So there's a slight element, a little bit of magic, but not really. And that was really fun because I always thought that I couldn't tell a contemporary story. I thought that I needed that layer of magic or sci-fi in order to plot. But this one was a really validating experience. So I might, if I had a good idea for contemporary, I would write it. Actually, I have been thinking of one lately. Have you guys ever watched the show Doomsday Preppers?
Yes.
Okay, so it's about these people who are so obsessed with things going wrong that they base their entire lives around preparing for the poles to shift, or for the government to collapse, or like all these like super obscure things. They decide that's the thing that's going to happen. And so I watch things like that. I'm like, yeah, but what if that was your mom? Like, what if that was your mom who made you have practice runs for when the pandemic swept the country? So I think things like that, but it would always kind of have to be high concept to me, which, like kind of have a big hook to it rather than like the kind of more quiet stories that I love and appreciate and I admire so much because I don't think I could do it. As far as adult, maybe I have written an adult book at some point. That's secret. But most of the stories that I want to tell fit well in teen because those are the questions that are interesting to me still. And that's what I love about writing for teens is that everything is new and everything is potential. So you're entering a time in your life where you're finally able to say, no, this is who I am. And you have all of these gatekeepers your whole life who have been telling you, this is what you're going to do, this is what you're going to do, this is what you're going to do. And when you get to be an older teen, you're finally able to say, no, this is what I'm going to do. And I love that, and I love the potential, and I love how huge and scary it is, but I also love that as a teen, you can mess up pretty bad, and it's okay. There's still time to fix it. Trust me, I've been there. I once flunked 3 terms of math without telling my parents. That was not a happy time in my life, or theirs probably, come to think of it. But so that all these things are big and new and have so much potential. And those are the stories that I like to tell. I think adult drama is not nearly as much fun. Adult drama sucks. And there's just way less fun kissing, right? We've all had our first kisses already. It's not fun anymore.